Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I would like to start off with a story that broke my heart. So this happened last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, I was catching the train to go pick up my car that was getting repaired. So Wednesday morning, 9 a.m., I got to Gordon Station. I haven't caught a train in Sydney for like 15, 20 years, so I was kind of looking forward to it. I had fond memories when I was high school, uni. So I got to Gordon Station, 9 a.m. It was a beautiful day like today. And yeah, felt pretty good. I waited there for a few minutes, then the train came. It was like a brand new train. It was quite fancy. Opened up, got in. It was modern, clean. I was pretty impressed. Then it was probably about 60, 70% capacity. Sort of full, but there were seats. So I go upstairs and I sit on a seat. And it was clean, comfortable. I'm sitting there having a good time. But after about 2 stops, I noticed something. I noticed most people there looked miserable. I guess most of them were commuting to work. And like here I am, I'm having a good time. I'm like, oh, this is great. Good weather. But most people were there just looked miserable. And I noticed there were 3 types of people. The first one were the doom scrollers. They're just there on their phone. They're expressionless. They're not smiling. They're not excited. They're just there, endless scrolling. And that was probably about 60, 70% of the people. And there was a guy sitting right here. He had his headphones on. He was just endless doom scrolling. There was a guy over there. He was just lying down as if he was on his couch, just endless doom scrolling. And one thing in common is they're faceless. They just don't have any expression on their face. They're there, but they're not really there. And the second type was the sleep deprived. It was 9 a.m. in the morning, but they just look exhausted. They're sleeping. There was 3 or 4 of them. And the last type, this surprised me the most, was the frantic commuters. There were 2 ladies who had their laptops open, and they're just frantically typing away. I'm doing business. It was 9 a.m., but they just looked like they were buried in work. There's one lady, she had a really nice beige suit on. She had a Louis Vuitton bag, but to me, she looked miserable. So this was my Wednesday morning, and that broke my heart. It broke my heart because, firstly, it wasn't the Sydney that I remembered. So 20 years ago, I worked in Sydney, then I went overseas, came back. And 20 years ago, I don't remember Sydney being like this. So that kind of broke my heart. And secondly, it broke my heart because I was one of them 5 years ago. I just remember my days. This was in Tokyo, but I remember my days when I was commuting to work every morning, being miserable and resenting the fact that I'm going to this office that I didn't want to go to. So that experience really broke my heart. And the reason why I'm telling you this story is looking back now, those miserable train rides, I think it was a sign. Looking back now, it was a sign. It was a sign that life was telling me I should be somewhere else. I believe everyone has a path. I believe everyone has a path, a purpose, a calling, a destiny that they should be following. And if they're just nowhere near that path, I believe that life just tells you, mate, Ken, go back there, mate. You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be somewhere shining, but you're stuck here in a miserable train every morning. And looking back now, I think it was a sign. And but I kept ignoring the sign. I ignored it. I was just telling myself, this was part of the deal. This is life. This is part of working. And I eventually got depressed. My wife, she used to be a tax accountant. She used to be a tax accountant for a big firm that everyone's heard of. She had the prestige, the status, the salary. But every busy season, she got so busy, she lost her hearing. She lost one of her hearing. And every year, just this 3 months, she lost her hearing. And she told me about it, and she's like, oh, I think it's normal, isn't it? Like, no. You shouldn't be losing your hearing because you're so busy. That's not life. That's not what life is supposed to be like. And I think for some, it could be different. It could be getting laid off, having an accident, getting a major illness or a divorce. I believe these could be signs that maybe God or the universe or simply your body telling you you're on the wrong path and you should be somewhere else. So if this rings a bell to anyone or someone you know, maybe all these bad things happening, maybe it's a sign. And for me, looking back, the most miserable time of my life, it was actually a blessing in disguise. Thank you.
Excellent.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you very much.